The Israeli Prime Minister has been speaking in the past hour. His message directed at a domestic audience. Benjamin Netanyahu saying on the eve of the release of the captives from Gaza that Israel's enemies are trying to regroup.
I know there are many disagreements among us, but on this day, and I hope also in this period ahead, we have every reason to put them aside, because through joint efforts we achieved enormous victories, victories that astonished the entire world. And I want to say, everywhere we fought we won. But in the same breath, I must tell you, the campaign is not over. There are still very great security challenges ahead of us. Some of our enemies are trying to rebuild themselves to attack us again. And as we say, we're on it.
Salhut is joining us live from Amman, and she's there because the Israeli government's banned Al Jazeera from reporting inside Israel and in the occupied West Bank. Benjamin Netanyahu, they're speaking in Hebrew. Clearly, this was geared towards a domestic audience inside Israel. It is worth remembering, of course, it was only 24 hours ago that tens of thousands of people gathering in Hostage Square in Tel Aviv booed his name when Steve Witkoff, the US envoy, attempted to give him some credit for the ceasefire agreement.
You know, there's a large disapproval amongst the Israeli public and the family members of hostages relating to Benjamin Netanyahu, saying that he stood in the way of a deal for more than a year, that he's been the main obstacle and prolonged the war for his own personal and political gain. So all of the credit that the Israeli public is giving for this deal is to the American President Donald Trump. It's to the U.S. envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff. None of it is to the Israeli government because of the deep disdain they feel for the Netanyahu coalition, who kept wanting to move forward with more military operations rather than coming to the table and accepting a deal.
And at the same time, we're getting reports that we understand that Mahmoud Abbas of the Palestinian Authority is going to be heading to this summit that is going to be hosted by Donald Trump and also by Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the president of Egypt, in Sharm el-Sheikh on Monday or so. Do you have any more details about that? There was a lot of speculation that in fact, it had been confirmed at one point that neither the Palestinians nor Israel were going to go to this.
Well, it's important to mention that the Palestinian Authority wasn't at the initial sort of summit when these negotiations were ongoing, because they weren't really any of the parties who were involved in the negotiations. And reports say that the PA wasn't invited because they're not included in the post-war Trump plan for the governance of Gaza. However, now those same reports are indicating that there has been a change of mind, that Abbas will be there, but it's unclear exactly what is to come next. It's worth mentioning that former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, whose name has been floated around for potentially being one of the leaders of the bodies that will usher Gaza into a post-war era, he met with the PA's Vice President Hussein al-Sheikh in the Jordanian capital to talk about what the PA's role is going to be. Hussein al-Sheikh said that the Palestinian Authority is heavily undermined internationally, it's not taken seriously, and that it's ready to undergo these large reforms that were stipulated by the Americans so that there can be this pathway towards a Palestinian state.
Hamdah, thank you very much indeed. Hamdah Salhut there talking to us from Amman.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.